here I am at Monticello, which is the home of Thomas Jefferson, for those of you who don't know, who was a founding father of the United States. That's his house back there. This is like his plantation. He built that house. That's the original house. And all of the grounds. It's really beautiful here. This is what a 1700s bathroom looks like. Be grateful for indoor plumbing. So I'm standing in the doorway of this little building, I guess is really the only way to say it, that was built so that he could look out on everything that he owned, I suppose. Quite a bit, because he owns property out that way to where he was born. Anyway, take a look at everything that Thomas Jefferson owned. And I guess this isn't really everything, this is just one half. And here are all his vegetable gardens. He was a big gardener. Let me go on down that direction past the tree that you can't see. But yeah, he owned all of this. Monticello, in case you didn't know, means little mountain in Italian. Monticello. Sorry, losing my voice. Nice view. Can you imagine owning this much? I can't imagine it. Probably the reason why he needed all of those slaves, despite the fact that he considered slavery to be an abomination. So, as you see, this chimney and foundation, which is covered up by a tarp, probably because they're trying to do some kind of rebuilding, are all that remain of the joiner's shop, which is like one of the first structures on Mulberry Road, which is this road where all of the slaves work, pretty much. The joiner's shop is like woodwork and stuff like that. From about 1775, free and enslaved workmen produced some of the finest woodwork in Virginia. So that's pretty cool. They have these little lines so it doesn't fall over. It's got ivy growing on top. That's super cool. Okay. We are at the gravesite of Thomas Jefferson. He's that really tall one right over there. It's kind of creepy. There are a bunch of like scary bugs and spider webs, and like you get the creepy graveyard vibe. But apparently, it's still an active graveyard. People are still buried here. 5 last year, 2 this year. A bunch of people, probably all related to Jefferson in one way or another. In his big obelisk kind of grave, there's him and his wife and his daughter. Okay, some thoughts on Thomas Jefferson. Incredible man. Educator, gardener, I already mentioned that. Educator, yeah, we need to start with that one. He founded the University of Virginia, which is here in Charlottesville, just a little ways away. It's supposed to be one of the, well, the guide said it was one of the most beautiful campuses or grounds in the United States. And I'm sure it is, because if you take a look around, it's a really beautiful area. I mean, I'm coming from the desert, so I'm a little biased because I love green. There's so much green here. And I love the green. Okay, so he was a big believer in education. He loved to read books. There's that big quote, "I cannot live without books." That's Thomas Jefferson. Gardening, he was big on. That is super awesome. Check it out. It's like a tree growing on a tree. Crazy. Gardener, educator, scholar. He was like probably from reading all of those books, he could read like 7 languages. And fun fact, he taught himself Spanish by reading 4 volumes of Don Quixote in Spanish on his way to be ambassador in France. It doesn't make much sense, but that was Thomas Jefferson for you. Politician, obviously, governor of Virginia, second governor of Virginia, Continental Congress, then Congress, president, Declaration of Independence, Constitution, stuff like that. So, really, really intelligent man. He wrote that he abhorred slavery, and yet, on this plantation, he kept hundreds of slaves. How does that make sense? It doesn't. I submit it does not. But he did it. And I mean, granted, to own a plantation as large as this, it's run by the power of slaves. So he had to keep them. But the fact that he only freed 7, he hated slavery, but he only freed 7 slaves in his, 80-some years that he was alive. Thomas Jefferson, I will not pretend that I understand because it was a whole different world. But I just wonder. Also, debt. Lots and lots of debt. Died with like $2 million some odd of debt. I don't know how he acquired so much debt. He even sold his books to the government when the Library of Congress burned in 1814, and still died with a ton of debt. So, a bit on the confusing side, but I'm sure there's some story explanation, which I shall hopefully find out before the end of this day. Okay, back at the visitor center. So, all in all, a fairly successful trip. I respect Thomas Jefferson quite a bit for all of the work that he did, and I would like to come back. There's a lot to see at Monticello, and even though I spent a good portion of the day today here, I still don't feel like I saw it all. I would have liked to spend more time up at the house, and I probably could have, but with the situation as it was, I didn't. So, yeah. Until next time.